Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Erica and I cannot wait to jump into today's crafting video because our good friends from ASUB sent me some new products to try out with you guys. So if you're super excited to test out some products with me, then keep watching. So if you don't know who ASUB is, let me refresh your memory. ASUB is that same company that I order all of my sublimation paper through. I have been using ASUB sublimation paper for years. I always recommend it. I've tried a ton of other brands and I always go back to ASUB sublimation paper. So when they reached out to me and said they had some new products that they wanted me to try, I was so stoked and couldn't wait to share these with you guys. So they were kind enough to send me two different products here that we're going to be testing out today. So these are t-shirt transfer paper, which if you don't know, this is basically kind of like a printable HTV vinyl. That's like the best way I can describe this to you guys. So you put this in your printer, you print directly on it, and then once your image is printed out, you can load it into your Cricut and then cut out your design that way. Or if you don't have a Cricut, you can cut it out by hand with just a pair of scissors. So once you have your design printed out and cut out, then you are ready to put it on your t-shirt, which you can obviously use your heat press, or if you don't have a heat press, you can also use an iron. So I love that you don't have to have any like special machines or equipment to use this. If you're just starting out and maybe you don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette yet, maybe you don't have a heat press, this is great because you can just use a pair of scissors and an iron if you don't have those things. So this is the light t-shirt transfer paper. It is 8.5 by 11, so it's a normal size piece of paper, and each pack comes with 20 sheets. Now they did also send me the dark t-shirt transfer paper also, and again 8.5 by 11, 20 sheets. But I also wanted to mention that I think I read in the instructions or on the package somewhere that with the dark t-shirt transfer paper, you can actually use this on any color shirt. You can't use the light color transfer paper on dark t-shirts. You can only use it on light colored t-shirts, but you can use the dark t-shirt transfer paper on any color shirt. So I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. Also, right off the bat, I noticed that the instructions are different. So if you do order this for yourself, make sure that you pay attention to the instructions that are on your package because they do differ from light to dark. For example, on the light colored t-shirt transfer paper, you have to mirror your image, whereas on the dark, you do not. But we are going to be testing out both today. I have a design for a white t-shirt and I also have a design for a black t-shirt. So we are going to see the difference and test them out. So I already have my designs loaded on Cricut Design Space, so they are ready to be printed and cut out. So let's jump over on my computer and get this started. All right, you guys, so I'm on my computer over here on Cricut Design Space. So this is the first design that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be putting this one on the white t-shirt. So I do need to mirror my image, and then I'm gonna hit continue and I'm gonna hit send to printer. And I have a couple different printers, so I gotta choose the right one. Now, I actually don't need to add a bleed because my design, I added a white border around the actual design. And I did get this design off of Etsy, by the way. I'm gonna hit print, and then it's gonna send this design to my printer where I'm going to print it on the light t-shirt transfer paper. All right, guys, so here is our design. I think it looks great. So I'm just gonna set this over here to dry and we'll go ahead and print out our dark t-shirt design. Okay, so for our black t-shirt, I'm doing this super cute Hocus Pocus design that I also got off of Etsy. And for the dark t-shirt transfer paper, you do not need to mirror your image. So I'm obviously not going to mirror it, and I'm just gonna hit continue here. And I'm going to print this out on that transfer paper. I'm gonna hit send to printer. I am going to add a bleed on this one because I didn't really add a border to it. So I'm just going to make sure that that is checked on this one, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit print. All right, so I'm gonna set this design aside so that it can completely dry, and we'll go ahead and cut out the other design while we're waiting. All right guys, so now I'm ready to cut out our design. So I've selected Printable iron-on, and they do have a light and dark, so we're gonna try it. And I'm leaving the pressure on default, so we'll see how this cuts. So now I'm going to load my paper onto my cutting mat, and then we will load it into the Cricut so it can cut it out. Okay, so we have our cutting mat. So I'm just going to line up my paper with my grid lines here. And then I'm just going to load my mat into my Cricut and cut it out. All right guys, so now we are going to remove the excess part of our design. And I will say, I think for the next one, I'm gonna do the more pressure because this like barely cut through that with the default pressure. So just a little note for you there. Okay, so we are ready to put our design on our t-shirt and press it. All right guys, so if you are using a heat press, you are going to set the temperature anywhere between 347 and 365 for the light t-shirt transfer paper, and you're going to press it for 20 to 25 seconds. But before we actually press the design on the t-shirt, I'm going to press my shirt to heat it up and get out the wrinkles before we put the design on. So I'm just going to press my t-shirt for a few seconds here, and then we will put on our design. Okay, so now we are ready to put our design on our t-shirt. So for the light t-shirt transfer paper, you just put it face down, it says, and you don't need to put anything on top of it. And you press it for 20 to 25 seconds with firm, heavy pressure. Okay, so we have pressed our design on there. So I have my press set to 350, and I just press that for 25 seconds to be safe. And it says you can peel the backing of the paper when it's hot or cold. Okay, so you can just peel it up, it says. Oops, I'm ripping it. All right, so there's our design. Get you guys a better look there. I think it came out great. All right guys, so our t-shirt is completely cool now. And I'm feeling this, and it almost has like a screen print texture to it. So it doesn't feel like, you know, like that thick, itchy, like HTV vinyl whenever you put that on your t-shirts. This feels just like a screen print, but like a lightweight version. I don't know, because it seems really thin. Like, I don't really feel it on the inside of the shirt hardly at all, so that's a plus. Okay, so now this design is dry, and we are ready to cut this one out. So I'm just going to line up my paper here on my cutting mat. Okay, and now we are ready to load it into our Cricut and cut it out. Okay, so I'm going to hit this Printable iron-on dark for the material, and then I'm gonna make sure that I change my pressure to more on this one, and then we are ready to cut it out. So I just wanted to quickly point this out. So I showed you guys what material I'm cutting it on. I even added more pressure to this one, and it's doing the same thing that it did with the light one. So you can see where it is trying to cut it out, but it's not quite cutting it all the way through. So I'm going to make my Cricut do one more pass. So without even unloading the mat here, because I want it to cut over, you know, the exact same line that it did the first pass through, I'm going to just hit the cut button again so that it can cut it one more time, and hopefully that will be a little bit better. So just thought that was worth mentioning to you guys. Maybe I need to select a different material on Cricut Design Space before cutting, or maybe I just need to tweak the settings on that specific material and just make it do some more pass-throughs automatically. But for now, I'll just hit cut again so that it can cut through it another time, and hopefully that's good. All right guys, so I've taken our design off of the Cricut mat, so now we're ready to press our black t-shirt. So just like with the white t-shirt, we are going to press our shirt to get out all the wrinkles and to heat it up before we actually put our design on. Now I do want to mention with the dark shirt transfer paper, the instructions say that the temperature can be from 329 to 365. And again, we're gonna press it for 20 to 25 seconds. I have my heat press still set to 350 and I'm gonna press mine for 25 seconds. So with this one, instead of putting it face down because we mirrored the image, this one is going to be face up. But before we put it face up, we have to peel off the backing. Hey guys, I was like really struggling to get the backing off. So get a pair of tweezers. That's what I had to do. So you just have to carefully peel off the backing. This is proving to be pretty difficult without ripping my design. So I'm just trying to be as careful as I can so I don't rip my design here. Okay, so behind the scenes, I've been peeling off the backing. I'm about halfway done now. So hopefully you guys can see that there. I'm peeling it up and it's kind of doing like the same thing that like stickers do when you peel up the backing. Like it starts like leaving like a layer of the sticker backing on there, and I'm like painstakingly having to peel that off. So automatically this part right here is really off-putting for me personally. This is really hard. So I feel like unless you have a perfectly circle or square design where it's like a straight edge all the way around, you're not going to have that issue, possibly. But even when I started to get it peeling, it's leaving that residue on the back of my design there. You see how it's kind of like ripping the backing? Like I wish I could give you guys a better view. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. But I think that's definitely something that A-Sub needs to work on if they're going to improve this product. That's my biggest and only complaint so far, is this backing is a nightmare to work with. Maybe I'm just not used to it, but again, I always give honest reviews, so I will keep working at it, trying to peel this backing off. All right guys, so I finally peeled off the backing. So like this is still part of the backing that's on. I literally cannot scrape this off. I've tried using my nails, I've tried using a weeding tool, tweezers, an X-Acto blade, a ruler. I've tried it all. So here's the backing from that design. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that. So you see how like if I were to put my hand here, the bottom part of the design, I got to peel off okay. I mean, it was pretty tedious and hard, but as you can see, it's like kind of shiny. But then up here, it literally did not peel off correctly. Even like a piece got torn there. So I wish I could show you guys this better. I know this is like really hard to see on camera, but do you see the difference there? Like where the light is shining right there, where it like ripped the backing. That's what happened on the back of our design. And I obviously can't press that on the shirt. So I refuse to waste my ink and waste a t-shirt trying to put this on. I know this isn't going to adhere right, and it ripped my design also. I mean, this is the result of my design after trying to peel that up. It obviously got like crumpled up trying to get it to come off, and even then I was like unsuccessful, and that was like 15 minutes of trying to peel off that backing painstakingly. That's something that A-Sub needs to fix. So I hope A-Sub can fix that, and maybe I'll try using it again in the future if they do. So there's that. Hopefully you guys have better luck with it if you try it. All right guys, so overall my honest review of these products is the light t-shirt transfer paper was obviously the better option, solely because I didn't have to remove the backing. It was super easy to apply, didn't have any issues. I will not use that dark t-shirt transfer paper again unless they fix that backing issue, because obviously I just refuse to waste not only a t-shirt but the ink in my printer also. So that's my honest review of these products. Again, no hate to A-Sub. I love their sublimation paper. The light t-shirt transfer paper was fine. The dark one, not worth it in my opinion, until they fix that. So that's where I'm gonna leave you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like it, please let me know by giving me a big thumbs up. As always, I would love to hear what you guys think, so make sure you drop a comment down below. And if you're watching this video and you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.